Let's learn how to make these nifty little card holders together with a latch to help secure all your worldly possessions. So find some statement buttons and let's discuss what equipment we'll need next. In addition to our yarn, crochet hook, scissors, and something to weave our tail ends in, such as a darning needle, I'm going to be using a smaller crochet hook, have some measuring tape handy, and of course buttons of your choice. So any durable fiber yarn is a good idea for this project just because you'll be handling it quite a lot. But you don't have to use novelty buttons. I think it just would be a little more fun for a project like this. But mix and match with the color of the yarn that you're using and the color of the buttons that you're using to your liking. To start, I'm building the base of the card holder. I make a slip knot and chain 17 to get my width. At the end of the foundation chain, you'll see that I add 3 more chains that'll act as my turning chains. I'm using a 3mm hook and my tension may vary from yours, so the measurements to follow are 70mm or 2.75 inches in width by 95mm or 3.74 inches in height. Here I have 17 chains. Let's add 3 more that'll act as our turning chain, and then working in the opposite direction, let's insert our hook into the 4th chain and single crochet into every chain after that until we reach the end of our foundation chain. I'm approaching the very last chain here. In total, we want to have 3 single crochet in this chain, just to act as a nice set of turning chains, similar to what we did in the opposite end of our work. I'm going to add a stitch marker just so I know when my round starts. But after this point, it's really simple. All we do is single crochet into every stitch in our round until we reach our 95mm or 3.74 inches in height. So after a couple rows, you'll definitely see the shape beginning to form. So I'm just going to speed ahead and I'll catch up with you once our card holder is looking much more like a card holder. So here we are, we've reached the desired height, our 95mm. From here we can remove our stitch marker and join our round with a slip stitch into that first stitch of the row. We can cut our yarn at this point, leaving a little bit of a tail end for us to weave in later, and that's the majority of the work done already. At this point, I'll sew in my button to the front side of my card holder with some thread, just because the openings are a little small. You could probably use yarn if the hole in your button is big enough, but having it secured here helps with the latch. We'll be crocheting next. So let's make a slip knot and chain 20. Full disclosure, I'm eyeballing this step a little bit, but if you're using 4-ply yarn with a 3mm hook, 20 chains should be sufficient to just get the length of the latch. For security here, as you'll see, I try to measure the length of the latch to see if it will comfortably fit around my button, which I think it does. So from here, working from where we started, insert your hook into the fourth chain. Here's a little loop that will fit around our button. So from here, single crochet into every stitch. On your very last stitch, create a slip stitch before tying off, and leave the tail ends to be just a little longer because we will be using them to weave the latch onto the main body of our card holder. Something you can definitely try is to just loosely secure the latch to your card holder to make sure you're happy with the position and that it's centered. You can even try securing it over your button. But at this point, all you need to do is commit to weaving in all your tail ends and you're done. Pop some cards in there and see how your card holder works. I hope this was a fun, quick little project for you to try out for yourself. Thank you for watching.